that is our highest goal, is to satisfy our sinful desires, we end up in the lowest place. Happy New Year, y'all. Welcome to Coffee with Connect. We get together on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 9:30, and we get into God's Word together, and we share our coffee together. Happy New Year. Welcome to 2024. My mug today is one from 2013. I guess going on 11 years old now, with a picture of my kids from 2013. And they were super cute and all that. And they got this for me. And it says, what does it say? Walking in a winter wonderland, which is part of living in Ohio, right? So hope that you're doing well. Hope that you had a good New Year's. And I hope that you're ready to continue to go through the book of James as we're going into James chapter 4. We're beginning chapter 4 today. And we're looking at verses 1 through 3. And so I hope that you've prayed. And we're going to read. And we're going to think. We're going to write. And we're going to do. And we're going to continue doing that as long as the Lord allows us. So here we go. We've all prayed, hopefully. And now we're going to read James 4, 1 through 3. What causes fights and quarrels among you? Don't they come from the desires that battle within you? You desire, but do not have, so you kill. You covet, but you cannot get what you want, so you quarrel and you fight. You do not have because you do not ask God. When you ask, you do not receive because you ask with wrong motives, that you may spend what you get on your pleasures. So as we think about this, that first question, what causes fights and quarrels among you? Where do most of the quarrels, the arguments, and remember this is talking to the church specifically right here, right now. All of them, the arguments and fights among Christians come from a place normally of selfishness. It comes from a place of selfishness. The three plays that Satan runs, right? Lust of the flesh, lust of the eyes, the pride of life. The lust of the flesh causes a whole lot of issues, especially among believers, because we're selfish and we're sinful. And it all comes down to that. And then that selfishness creates bitterness among God's people, and that ends up just poisoning the whole lot. See, if we're walking in the Spirit, then we're not focused on ourselves. We're focused on the Lord and what He's calling for us to do. And it's interesting here that James doesn't seem to care who's right or wrong. Notice that doesn't come up at all. He's not saying, well, if you're right, then blank. And if you're wrong, then blah. That doesn't matter. We literally and figuratively kill each other, as it says, and fight each other. It says you desire but don't have, so you kill. You covet, but you can't get what you want, so you quarrel and you fight. And for what? For what, really? For what we're owed? For what we're wronged? You fill in the blank there. See, as believers, that doesn't compute, because when we really look at those things in the light of eternity and in the light of what really matters in the course of life and existence, a majority of, if not all of the things that we fight and quarrel over that James is talking about here are not nearly as important as the eternal realities. So all we're trying to do is to satisfy our sinful desires. And when that is our highest goal, is to satisfy our sinful desires, we end up in the lowest place. So what's God saying to you? What can you write down? What do you need to maybe be honest with yourself about here? I know there's certainly some things I need to be honest with myself about when it comes to this stuff. And then the do. What do we do here? Well, see, the reason that we do this, that we act this way, is because we're asking ourselves how we can fulfill our own needs instead of the Lord. And James even says this here, right? And in the passage, he says, you do not have because you do not ask God. And then he talks about the motives. See, the power of prayer is really talked about here, the immense power of prayer that we take for granted and we do not utilize nearly enough. So many things that we're missing out on because we're not asking. And when we are asking, we're asking from a selfish perspective, as it says here. See, if we ask in the right heart with the right motive, deep down we're just trying to please ourselves, please our desires instead of pleasing the Lord. And selfish prayer is not just unanswered, it's unheard. See, the purpose of prayer, that's to align our hearts with the Lord and to ask him to accomplish his will on earth through us. And when we do that, we find that his desires become our desires. And the fights and the battles and the quarrels, as it says, amongst ourselves just seem to vanish. But it starts with me, and it starts with you. So let's start off the new year right. Let's start off the new year right in harmony with the Lord, which in turn will create harmony amongst the people of God. So thanks for joining me, and I hope that you'll like the video, subscribe to the channel, share this with someone that needs it, and join me again here next time so we can have our coffee and connect to Christ, community, purpose, and God's word together.